All right, indoor garden update. May 27th. I started this October in 2021. There's been some mostly positives, a little bit of negatives like some white fly issues, which I'm still dealing with. I thought I virtually got rid of all of them, but good luck with that. Um, and some aphids, which really aren't that bad of a problem, and spider mites that seem to only go on and appear out of nowhere on some of the strawberry plants, which they're also easy to deal with as well. Um, So it's the start of a new season. The weather's been crappy out here, so stuff that should be on my balcony is not out there right now. We had a great April and then a freeze for 4 days in May, which it went about 29 degrees, 28 degrees for a few hours overnight, and 45 degrees during the day. Lots of clouds, some snow, and everything. The stuff on the ground made it really nice. Although I did reseed some just to make sure, but like the melons and stuff are coming up and everything, so that's good. And then again here today we have like 60 degrees and cloudy, a little drizzle. It's supposed to be like 70. 2 days ago was like 75, 80, and now they're saying about 60 and chance of rain and clouds again, and some other stuff like that. Um, so I want to do mostly food, and there's some stuff on the balcony I'll show you. And when the weather finally gets going good, I'm going to put a lot of these flowers outside on my door, my front door, and on my balcony. And then I'm going to make room for some food. So what you see left over here on the floor is some of this should be outside. But I also had baby mantises hatch that came out of this guy right here. And I'll show you one real quickly. They don't really zoom in that well, but he's on the post. There he is. Oh, it actually zoomed in finally. When I try to make videos of them walking and how they're clawing up in the air and everything, it doesn't come out. Anyway, so a lot of the things are in here now because I have baby mantises all over there. There's another guy that's floating around in there. I have a whole handful. So when the weather gets out better, some of this will go outside. And I want to keep the mantises inside as babies because I want them to take care of aphids, whiteflies, and whatever else. Although they're pretty not into anything right now because they seem to molt every week or something like that as they grow. So we'll see. All right, so let's start off. There's just some flowers, some cosmos, some wildflowers. This is a big foxglove. It's in its second year, which sounds bizarre. It's in its second year. It's not a 2-year-old plant. It's basically a year-old plant from last year, and it should flower. I'll show you one I bought from the store, what it will look like. So I got potatoes. This is an interesting story. I don't have the video to go with it anymore. Last year, I couldn't really sprout the potatoes. Again, this year, I was having trouble. And they just grew beautiful, giant green. They didn't even flower. And at the end of the year, I pulled them up slowly. Nothing. Some root system, but no potatoes, nothing. I didn't see anything. So I didn't think anything of it. I went out there about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago maybe, and I was doing some flowering around where they were, building some boxes, and I thought, is that a potato? And I saw this big potato with a little bit of its skin sticking out. So I dug in the ground, and there was a potato attached to a potato. And it was like right on the surface all through the winter. It wasn't there when I pulled the bush up last year. So lo and behold, there was 4 potatoes. 2 were just loose sitting there, and the other 2 were attached to roots. And they were all pretty much on the surface. And so I took the one with the root that had good roots in it, and I planted it, and it started growing this. So that's a good sign. I did some radishes and everything. If anybody knows about this, they're supposed to be 2 inches in the ground. I keep trying to put them in deeper and deeper, and they just keep growing skinny. Every once in a while, I get a good one. They grow skinny, and then they keep growing outwards. They're supposed to have soft soil and deeper in the ground, like 2 inches, 1 to 2 inches, and it's not working. So if anybody has a heads up, let me know. Tomato seed got in there by accident, I guess. This is an awesome pumpkin that's growing like crazy now. Check that out. And that's a foxglove, how it should look. This looks a little distorted because you'll see the other one that I bought from the store because the white flies were killing it. I didn't think it was going to make it. It had like no leaves left, and then finally did. It was such a pain. And here's another tomato. And then in the back there, I got some dill. So now everything I do here, not flowers, but food is like non-GMO and organic. Most of the flowers are also like that, but a few, I guess a handful aren't. As the story with the tomatoes go, you know what, I'll save that for the other room because I have tomatoes and peppers together, and I'll explain what I did with that and how I started them. This wasn't supposed to be. These are snapdragons. They must have been seeded and never came up after a few months because I reused some soil. And these guys here I planted, I don't even know what they are, but they were new flowers that I got. So I planted them. Before they came up, all these snapdragons started coming up, as you can see. And over here too, same thing. I just cut a whole bunch down because they were flowering. So they'll go out my balcony as soon as the wind and the weather cooperates. These were store-bought. I bought a whole bunch, and then I put some out in the garden down below. Not one. I let it go for a couple of days. I just re-watered it, and I thought maybe it needed water because it seemed like it did, but they're still not popping up. So it was like really like not water, and then I went to water it. And I usually have no trouble with any flowers or any snapdragons. As you can see, the other ones are fine. So let me know what you think of that. I just watered it today just to make sure a few hours ago, and it didn't do anything. Not sure what they are because I just did it a few weeks ago, but these guys are flowers, and that thing just popped up out of the soil. Kind of looks like a snapdragon, but it's never really done anything. This guy too, I have no idea what it is. It just keeps growing tall and tall and tall. And then the strawberries, I got a whole bunch of strawberries that were babies. I just did a video a couple nights ago where I showed the harvest. I harvested like 3 or 4 good berries, and now there's going to be like another 15 that are looking pretty good sizes here. You'll see in the bedroom, there's a really good ones in the bedroom, and then a start of one over there. Most of these are real babies. There's a few of them that were mother plants, but most of these are real baby plants. And then let me show you the balcony, what I got going on. So I had a hard time with lettuce. 2 times I had a good success with it over the 7 months indoors, and a lot of times it just doesn't work. So I got 4 different lettuces, 1, 2, 3, 4 lettuces, different kinds. One is spinach, so there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one is spinach. Another cucumber, I got different cucumbers. And everything you see here is also down in the garden outside. So since it's been cool out and it's cool overnight, the typical summer weather here overnight is anywhere from 45 to 57 depending through May, June, July, and August. So that's nice and cool for this. And I'll keep them out. And then inside I'll bring them under the lighting where it's not going to be too warm once they get going out here. Because I think there's a problem with maybe the soil or the heat or something. But in the ground, if you watch the video, you'll see how it grew nicely in the ground before it got warm out. So I'm having trouble with that. And then I got wild mint that I had to cut down, and it will regrow nice. White flies destroyed my beautiful raspberry. I cut it down last year, grew back, didn't see any flies. I watered it, didn't see anything coming out of it. And it's very hard if you never had raspberries, which I never did. It's really hard as they clump all over each other to really look underneath to see anybody. Well, I just cut it down, but it's growing back again, and hopefully this time the bugs will leave it alone. Dwarf blueberries, dwarf blueberries. Now over here, what I did is, well, there's some, what's that called? Not jasmine, not rosemary, lavender. Don't know what they are. And some hollyhock and some larkspur. They'll go towards the sun. I have them back here because we were supposed to get strong winds and rain. And then in some clay pots, I just put some herbs, a whole bunch of different kinds of herbs, some onion. That's going to be another tomato and pepper, some rosemary, some sage, oregano, all kinds of stuff like that down in here that I'm going to try to grow outside because I do have stuff inside for herbs as well. So that's what's going on out here. And again, I'm going to try to get some melons and some of the flowers all out here. And I have a table. I have a table that I can put stuff on, but I usually keep this just for the birds because they come up here like crazy. I got some big birds, Steller jays and scrub jays that come up. So it's pretty cool. Well, I got this. This was a cantaloupe, started well, then almost died, then it flowered. Now it looks like it's going to die again. So I did a honeydew and a watermelon on that side. Like you saw the pumpkin over there. Oh, here's the bird. Dang it, he flew away. Sorry about that quick camera. I thought I heard him when I was out there squawking. So the pumpkin's growing really good, as you see, and they're growing down in the garden. They're small right now, but they're just the leaves. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to try one here and here and here. They were working on the balcony last year, but the extreme heat on the balcony and then the 50-degree, 55-degree weather overnight, they didn't like that. So I'm going to start them indoors and see what I can do with them. And again, you can tell this is a nice little rack system. It doesn't take up a lot of room. It's 3 feet, 16 inches, and 6 feet high. 5 shells it comes with, and they're adjustable. Walmart online. I think the thing is called Hyper Tough, different colors, stainless steel coated. And then the lights are, in case you've never seen any, They're blue and red spectrum from seed to fruiting and flowering, and they're also like full spectrum, and they're also Walmart online, anywhere from $30 to $40, which is a great deal because they're usually 50 to 55 elsewhere, and they're 2 feet long. You can get 3 feet, but 2 feet is more than sufficient for all this. It's about 4 inches wide and about 3 inches high, and it doesn't cost any money or anything like that. And they make the house look nice because they're white, even though they're a blue-red spectrum. Their GE and their grow with the white light is awesome, and you can get this stuff and do whatever you want to grow. So here's my other mantis thing I'm waiting on. They just ran all over the house. They were like, you think like a 2-year-old kid might be hard to deal with. Imagine like 5 2-year-old kids. Well, now imagine like 50 2-year-old kids just running all wild. Like, they're mantises, right? You think they'd be where the water is and where the bugs are. No, they're running everywhere. I found them all over my house, all over my walls, in my crystal bowls and stuff over there. They're just everywhere. They were just, man, they were nuts. So here's a foxglove. This is what a foxglove looks like. That's how healthy foxglove leaves grow and stems. And that's what the flowers look like. Bumblebees and hummingbirds. And they come from Europe, I believe. And in Europe, big bumblebees are the only things that can get in and do what they can do. And in America, the same thing, big bumblebees and then hummingbirds. All right, so over here, melons started. I don't know if they were watermelons or honeydews, I forget. They don't look that great, but we'll see. And then here's the tomatoes and the peppers. So what I did with the tomatoes and the peppers is last spring, both outdoors and indoors, I bought a Roma tomato, non-GMO organic, and I bought a non-GMO organic red bell pepper. I ate it for dinner and all that stuff, and then I used the seeds and I grew. And I harvested and then I grew with those seeds, and then this is the seeds from those, and so on. A couple times they were looking awesome. I thought I was gonna have like 50 peppers between like 2 pots, and then whiteflies, aphids, and spider mites just appeared literally overnight when peppers were about like this big, and they were just everywhere. I was like, oh my god. So that's how that goes. So they're looking good. This is only about a month and a half old, these plants, and they're already getting ready to flower and everything. Even those little guys haven't grown too high, but that one's getting ready to flower. This is a yellow mini pepper. I had that. I don't know if it's non-GMO organic. I remember buying it because there was nothing at the store. So I bought that, and the tomatoes are looking pretty good and healthy. I'm pretty decent with white flies right now. I don't see any or anything. Once in a while I'll see one and I'll just like snip it, like, because I'm not doing the neem oil spray or anything like that anymore. Just had it. I thought they were gone and they were hiding in this on my carrots. I couldn't see on the carrot greens. You couldn't really see them at all. If you're, anything that's small like that, you can't really see it. And even though I brush them around or I spray them, I didn't see them. I think maybe they hop around. One time I caught them on here. Like I look, I can't see nothing. I go like this and like, oh no. But here's celery. So celery's really good. And more celery. And this is I'm having trouble with. I don't know if it's the soil or the water or not too much water, but this is new to me. Brussels sprouts and Brussels sprouts. Oh, well, that's not. That looks like a snapdragon or something that came up in the soil. Brussels sprouts, Brussels sprouts. This is social garlic. You can eat everything. It hasn't flowered again in the 3 years that I've had it, but it usually stems, and you can eat the stem, these leaves, and the flowers. But it's really pretty, too, and it smells nice. So that's what I got going on in here. So one thing I learned that I'm going to switch over now. I keep saying I'm going to switch over, and I haven't done it yet. These are cucumbers, and that is a humidifier. We don't get any humidity here in California where I live. So in this room, it's 40% without running for a few hours. Usually it's around 15 to 20%, and that's horrible, man. I need some humidity in my house. I try to get it up to 50 to 60 in this room, especially during the summer when there's no humidity at all. But you don't do dill and don't do cucumbers with humidity. It seemed to cause mold, like a white mold or a powdery mildew or whatever they call it. So keep that in mind if you're doing indoor stuff. So right here in the little guys, I'll do this little section first. I decided to add some extra pots while I was waiting on my clay ones to come. I just put a whole bunch of wildflower mixes, some marigold seeds that I had, and all that all in here, and they're growing real nice. And I'll probably keep a couple for myself, put them out front on where my door is, maybe on the balcony if there's room. I know it looked like it's crowded now, but it won't be. I'll have it all set up nice, and I can still get in and out of my doors. And I think I might give a couple to the neighbors that just moved in and stuff. And here's some of the strawberries that you see, and again, a typical baby plant. All these are actually babies. That was a baby that was given a baby, so it was like three of them connected at once. And then I think this is called like a container cucumber or something like that. So they won't grow that big, that tall. And I think they might be like 6 to 7 inch cucumbers. Some more strawberries, and you can see some of these strawberries get big. This guy's he's gonna break the record. This one, yeah, awesome. And then another snapdragon that just popped up. I guess sometimes they just don't ever grow, and then like months later, I reuse the soil or I mix it with new soil, and it pops up. Here's some little strawberries. Now this is a different strawberry. You can tell that these are small, and they always grow like that. Sometimes they grow a ton, but they never make it. These are actually doing good. There's about 4 on this one, but a lot of times like these, they won't make it. They'll turn brown like that. Give it about 3 or 4 days, and then you can just cut them and let the plant grow healthier. They're both this kind. These are the only 2 of those. The rest are the same. They're ever bearing. One's called like Ozark. I can't remember the name of the other one. They're ever bearing, but they're 2-season producing, which is kind of strange. But summer and winter, or summer and fall. Mine produce and produce and produce. I started this in October, and these guys, well, not all of them because there's a lot of babies, but they've been berrying. Like this one's going crazy. This one's got some, look, 3 beautiful berries, and then 4 beautiful berries with some more flowers growing. I think that might be a leaf or another plant starting. And then this has got some berries. Over there has got some berries. This is guys shooting out some stuff over here. And you can see the size difference in this kind and the one I showed you on the bottom compared to this plant here, which is like this one's almost done. All right. But they keep producing, and I'll cut these off and have them, and I guarantee in about a month and a half, they'll do it again. So that's pretty cool. And I got some more up here. I needed some room, and I had some more. And here's my herb section. There's cilantro with the white flies hid in there, and I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna cut it, and it started regrowing already. They say, get this. This is what I wanted to tell you all. So first of all, I got basil, cilantro, and parsley, and I showed you the deal. And then outside, I got tons more herbs. I did that because in case this white fly crap happens. So I looked online with what you can do with white flies, and hang the things up. I don't think hanging them up does anything because they always stick on the leaves. You got to get lucky to shake them and see if they go onto like a sticky thing. The neem oil, soap, dish soap, warm water, and yada yada yada. I tried all that. Mine must be like some kind of mutant white flies that don't care about anything. You can spray them, soak them. You have to literally like stomp them, or else they'll never leave, right? So I looked up the other day, and I thought, is there any other plants that would keep white flies away? So you see this guy right here? I don't know what it is, like some kind of tropical looking plant, right? So a lady gave it to me. It's over here, right? See all those things on the ground? All those are dead white flies. I thought, oh no, are they coming on here and then dying? So I checked all the leaves. There's nothing. I thought maybe this thing's like toxic when they come by and they fly and they fall down, right? So I looked up online to see what would happen. And I cut one here and I cut one there because it was overgrowing anyway. And I'm going to see if it's going to root so I can have another plant. So online it says like the top 4 plants to have in your garden and around your potted plants. Number 2, basil, keeps white flies away. My basil plant got ravaged by white flies in a 3-day period. It was like 3 feet tall. I had like 5, 6 of them in a big container, and I was so happy. And I was cutting it. It was regrowing. One night I saw them. I kept trying to flick them off and get them off and everything. And I sprayed and I got them. And then the next day there's like 10 million more and 10 million more. So much for that. They don't like basil stuff. So if any simple plant or simple, maybe like an essential oil that maybe keeps them away, let me know. They are just like pathetic things. Parasitic. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got going on. And again, Walmart online, I got this beautiful shelf system. You don't have to get it. It was $63. And you see there's 1, 2, 3 shelves and 3 lighting. So for one system like this, you're looking at $63 for the shelves. And then 3 lights times 40 if at the most, 120. Looking at $205, $210 maybe at the most with that. So, get into gardening, get into farming your own food and everything. Don't let the white fly thing think it's like, oh my God, they're all over your house or anything. They're not. They stick on the plants by the billions if you get them, but I've done away with a lot of them, and everything's coming out real good. And as you can see, whether they're babies or starting to be full grown or getting in, in there, the lights work really, really well. You can see the size of the strawberries, whether they're vegetables, fruits, flowers, herbs, everything's growing real well as far as the lighting goes and on these rack systems. So hopefully that gives you inspiration, some ideas. Give me some if you want. As far as the spider mites go, I just blast them off with the water, or I learned that you can use a little bit of neem oil. See this leaf here? A leaf is a little discolored, and this one's a little discolored. That's because I went too heavy on the neem oil. So with spider mites and everything, if you wanted to use neem oil or blast them with water and just keep doing that every day to the top of the leaves, you should be okay. Just go light on the neem oil or your leaves will be brown like this. Might not be able to see that, but see like there. And that's about it. And what else did I say? The aphids, they move slow and everything. You could just like brush them off with water and they'll have to climb back up, brush them back off with water and climb back up. I try not to kill anything, but the white flies are so parasitic and so fast action, it just really gives you no choice. It's kind of sad. Alright, so that's about it. Like I said, I'm going to try to change over to have almost all food and then keep certain spots in my house to put flowers in and outside. And yeah, I got radishes. You know what I forgot to tell you because I was talking about the radishes in here? That one outdoors, that one gray one out there is actually radishes. So there's 4 different lettuces. One is actually spinach. So 3 lettuces, 1 spinach, 1 full tray of 2 different radishes, and then the cucumber. And so yeah, that's it. It's fun. It's pretty nice. It would be awesome if there was no white flies. Everything else would be great. And it's really cool with the strawberries. It's fun to watch them grow and how fast the leaves grow and the baby plants. Like I said in the other videos, I'll tell you again, I started with, well, when I ordered them, I might have had about 30, between the 2 different strawberries, I might have had like about 30 plants. I planted a lot outside and they just didn't go well, and the sprinkler systems came on and kind of ruined it. So I had like maybe 4 upstairs, and I took 2 that were surviving downstairs and were doing well, and I brought them up. So I think I had a total of 6. Now I have a total of 28. From October to now, I went from 6 to 28. So how awesome is that? So that's fun. And snapdragons are always fun because when they die, you clip them and they regrow the flower, and when at the end of the year, especially if they're outside, then they can seed pod, and they'll have pod. One of these flowers each will be a pod of like 100 seeds in them. So that's cool as well. When you get to know and get familiar with everything, you can reseed everything. You don't have to buy seeds anymore. All right, lots of love to you. I think that's about it. Bye bye.